Hello, everyone. Welcome to Focus Garage. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how the modifications ruin your perfectly fine car. So,
Yep.
we both have I would say it like mildly, maybe like a little bit high modified cars that are in, engine suspension.
We've done more than window tint and cut off a muffler. you
Yep.
know?
So, how are those stuff ruined? Basically, fucked our cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So the way I always like to lead off when talking about this is to anyone that's not a car person, we look crazy. We
Definitely.
we spend all this money on a brand new car so that it's safe and has a warranty and we can drive and not worry about it. And the first thing we do is we rip the damn thing apart and change everything.
Yep.
So
Void the warranty.
Yeah,
Done. Cash.
there's always this phrase I love. It's buying parts that I don't need to impress people I don't know with money that I don't have.
Yep.
And that is essentially modifying a car. You do these modifications that'll make the car louder. It'll make it, ride more firm. Everything's more noisy and it's less reliable. And like to someone that doesn't get it, it just looks so stupid. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with your life? Why are you wasting your money?
But to you, that's your baby. Literally, like you spend hours on top of the cold concrete, just wrenching over, and then and you're done, and you crank it up, and it works
Yep.
for 5 seconds.
Until it breaks and it doesn't work. And you're
Yeah.
sitting there with your fucking head in your hands crying to
You're
yourself.
like, why? I have a great story.
Let's hear it.
My car is a big turbo, and this little baby turbo come out of the turbo.
Your car gave birth to that.
Yeah, it come out of the engine, and this is like, I don't know, like 4 inches wide. The turbo that went in there was like 6.5 inches. So there's like a quite a bit physical difference between those two, and the opening that has is not more than like 5 inches, and you gotta like rock the engine forward to be able to put that big turbo in. Well, it's not even at that big.
But when they say big, it's a lot physically bigger than what we have
like
here.
bigger than this turbo. And I spent with my buddy, my best friend, my lover, we spent 9 hours under the car. 9 freaking hours under the car.
And my favorite thing about this is you didn't do this on a lift. You did this on a cement garage floor
Yep.
in the cold fall with Jack and Jack stands.
Yep, that's it. That's all I had. And then he was trying to push the turbo in there with his 2 hands, and then I'm pushing the engine with my 2 legs. Like,
Sounds like a scene from Brokeback Mountain.
yeah, that was. My girlfriend was not happy about that.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
but-
probably not going to be happy when you call him your lover either.
Probably not. But anyway, everything is done. I hook it up. It was a weekend project. I thought about it. I'm like, it says 9 hours, but it's gonna take more than that, and it eventually did.
The
Because
rule of working on cars is however much time they say it's going to take, you double it.
double it. Yeah, and then Sunday afternoon, we're going to whatever, like a dinner or lunch. Like, I was so tired, I didn't even care anymore. And we're driving, and I'm like, I hit it first, and then I see 22 psi, 23 psi. Good, everything is working good.
No
And
weird
then-
smells, no weird noises.
Nothing. Everything is perfect. I'm like, I did a great job. Like.
Pat yourself on the back.
Finally, like, I got something right. And then second time, 30 psi. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, maybe there's something wrong, like it's the AP reading incorrectly. So I did it again, 30 psi. And I'm like,
With no fueling to support this,
Yep.
no tune meant for this,
nope.
nothing.
Its base is supposed to be at the wastegate spring, so it was like 20 it should have been like between 20 to 23 psi depending on the exhaust mod you have, but not definitely 30 psi. And then tune didn't support it either. I'm so lucky that I didn't blow up the car.
Yeah,
right
the car
then
could
and
have
there.
leaned out right there and blew up.
Yeah.
And one of the scariest things is to kind of tie into that story, when you're tinkering with a bunch of things at once on your car, say for example a big turbo swap, there's so many things you're changing at once that when something doesn't work, you don't know what to point to when something goes
Yeah.
wrong, Something causing that could be something related to a sensor plugged in wrong, your vacuum line's routing wrong, you could have installed something that was already broken.
Yeah.
So you're sitting here and you're panicking that you just spent $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on this upgrade and now it's not working right and you have no clue how how
am
or
I
why.
gonna fix it? Yeah. And then I had to go to work next day.
Like we mentioned earlier in a different video, this is your daily driver and your only car. So
this is the only car I have. That's how smart I am. But you know, at the end of the day, there's always that downside. But I learned something new about that engine that I didn't know. You didn't know it either. There's two boost controllers, whatever. We fixed it. At the end of the day, we sat down, we researched it, and we fixed it. Yeah. But then it worked for a little bit more, and then
something else breaks. Broke. It'll start leaking, making new noises.
Yeah.
Something like that. And one of the things with modifying cars is you really get to know yourself. You know, you learn what sets you off, but it's relaxing. You know, if you truly enjoy cars and you're an automotive enthusiast, wrenching on your own car just gives you that satisfaction that nothing else can. You know, I always compare it in this weird way. You know, a lot of people will go out and they'll spend $200-$300 out drinking in a weekend, and you know all they have to show for it is they're hungover the next day.
Yeah.
Whereas we'll spend a weekend laying on the garage floor, rolling around in the dirt.
It's just a pile out there.
You can go outside, you can drive it though. You can look at it, you can enjoy what you've done, and that stays. You know, you constantly get that sense of satisfaction every time you get in your car and start it up, and it makes all kinds of shitty noises because you put solid motor mouse on your car. You know.
Yeah, vibrates the fuck out of you because you're like, I need to hook.
That's what you live for, you know. It's that compromise, and I think the more in depth you go with your car, you know, the more stuff you put on there. You know, you always kind of weigh it before you put something on your car. Like, is this worth it to me? You know, am I gonna enjoy this mod per dollar for what I'm paying for it? You know,
that's another thing. Like when I go out to buy something else that it's not car related, I go like,
do I really need this?
No, like this with this much money, I could put 50 horsepower into my car.
Yeah, what is soap? Who needs shampoo?
Do I need to shower that often? But yeah, I mean, your scale changes and your suspension.
Oh, all right, fine. You told your little story about the turbo there and overboosting.
Tell us about your suspension.
This is fun, right? So installing coilovers on a Focus ST isn't anything that's overly hard, but it takes a couple hours. You know, it took me maybe 3.5, 4 hours to take the old stuff off, put the new coilovers on, so got everything dialed in. The car's, sitting just right. We take it off the jack and jack stands, and everything's all set up. Car looks killer. I'm super excited to drive it. Start the car, put it in reverse, and as soon as I hit the first bump, backing out of the driveway, and just creaking and grinding. I'm like, what the hell is going on, Long story short, it ended up being the adjustable sway bar end link wasn't adjusted properly. The set nut had backed out and they weren't attached to anything, so they were just moving freely and the sway bar was binding up on itself. But like that frustration you get after you think you're just gonna have all this satisfaction, it's such a roller coaster of emotions, and it's something that a lot of people can only get through modifying a vehicle, you know?
That feeling that you just realize you fucked a perfectly fine car.
Oh my God, all the time.
Like, why does the car need a suspension? It rides perfectly fine. It corners perfect. Why do you need that much horsepower when you can't even put that on the ground?
Yeah, I know this guy that calls himself an auto enthusiast, but he's not really. He just drives, a bone stock car and doesn't really know a lot about cars. And whenever somebody buys a part for their car, he'll always make a comment like, why did they buy an exhaust? The car came with an exhaust. It's like, dude, you don't get it.
Yeah, there's some stuff that we don't get.
Absolutely.
You can't judge people on that, but at the end of the day, it's a hassle, it's a fight, it's a war. Basically, you're fighting against yourself. You're in a war that you're losing. You're losing time, you're losing money, and you're losing your patience.
Yeah, exactly. What is that tipping point where you're about to go off the edge and just smash your car into the ground or drive it into a wall?
How many times do you wish that your car was on fire right now?
Somebody turns in front of you too close, you're like, I should end it right now and just T-bone that person. We don't condone insurance fraud.
No, not at all.
The neat thing about this is that, the people that we're speaking to right now are on our side. For the most part, you're probably not watching this video if you don't have some sort of interest in cars. So you're not going to be on that side where you think everything you do is
and if you're, kudos to you.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. If you have no idea what we're talking about or don't know why we're doing what we do, try it. Swap something out on your car. Change the light bulbs.
Yeah, learn how to do oil change. You learn how to change a tire. That's something so basic not a lot of people know.
And I think this whole notion of this whole notion of modifying your car stems off of basic stuff that, when you're younger and you want to tinker with a car and, something as simple as like changing a light bulb or changing your oil leads to you wanting to do more, So when you get older, you have your own car, something you can afford, you want to swap out parts, like with our cars. There's so much wealth of knowledge out there. You can go online and learn how to do virtually anything on these cars. You want to do it yourself. You want to experience and be like, this Joe Schmo online did it. Why can't I?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thought. Like when you're looking at other people modifying their cars, you're like, he just learned it from Google. Why can't I learn it?
YouTube mechanic is a phrase that's very popular in our generation.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I found a whole a booklet of how to build an engine, specifically EcoBoost 2.0 EcoBoost engine. Am I gonna do it? Maybe, probably.
Maybe, probably, kind of, sort of not.
Is it gonna fuck up my car? Probably. Like this.
You know that going into it, though.
Yeah, like when I work on the car, I say 2 hours, but deep down I know it's gonna take 4 hours, and then it's gonna take another 4 hours
to fix it once it breaks.
Yeah, once it breaks, it's a non-ending war. Like I said, it's frustrating, but it's relaxing at the same time. It's
satisfying when it does work,
Yeah, for that 5 seconds, it's the most wonderful thing of the world.
But here's what's really the worst: when your friends have modified cars too, you're always seeing the shit that they're doing to their cars, and you want to do the same thing, or you want to do it better, you want to be faster, you want to have your car look better, you want to have it drive better.
Yeah.
So it's this never-ending battle of competition that you didn't even try to be in this competition. Nobody wins. Everybody's modifying their car, spending money, and it's
companies win.
Company wins. Yeah, the people that sell these parts are the ones that are winning right now. But it's the worst because you surround yourself with like-minded people, and it just ends to you dumping more money in your car to more stuff you never needed in the first place.
Every morning I wake up and I go out.
Is my car gonna start? No.
I start the car and I go inside. Let it warm up a little bit, for a couple of minutes before I go out and start driving. You're not supposed
to let your car warm up. It's bad.
Yeah, it's okay. For 2 minutes, it's okay. But and I can literally feel the exhaust inside my house, and then I'm thinking, and this is 6:30 in the morning, and I'm like, what does my neighbor think? When are they gonna call the cops on me? Like this guy has a really obnoxious car. Tow it. Get it out of here. I
don't want to hear it anymore. My kids don't want to hear it anymore. My wife doesn't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah, and then I'm at the stoplight and I'm about to go, and then the car starts shaking because I'm letting the clutch go, and then the solid motor mounts hits you so hard, and then you're like, it's still 6 in the morning. I'm still sleeping, but. Yeah, those are the harsh stuff that I wish I didn't have to do. At the beginning, I didn't have to do anything, but
you did this to yourself.
I did it to
Nobody
myself.
held a gun to your head and said, "Big turbo swap your car. Put solid motor mounts on your car."
We have a buddy. He has a really highly modified Fiesta ST. Hopefully, he will talk about his car in the future episode. And we had a situation where we were working on my car over the weekend, and I needed to go get something from AutoZone or Advance, whatever. And I asked him if he could, drive me there, and he was with me. He's like, yeah, sure. When we were going to AutoZone or Advance or whatever, and on the way there, he accelerated a little bit and then broke the motor mount. It snapped it, and then it was such a weird failure that his engine didn't start for a while because he knocked the sensor off, broke it actually, and then ripped the harness off of it. And
that's what happens.
Yeah, and then we're like, what are we gonna do? What the fuck happened? We get out, and then we're like, oh, okay, yeah, I wish I didn't do this or do that. And we thought we were gonna tow the car.
Thought it was that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad. And we had to work on his car, and when we were done working on cars, it was 1 in the morning, and I had to wake up at 6 and go to work. And it was such an awful feeling, when you're going to bed and then you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I hurting
honestly
myself?
A sick to your stomach type feeling? Yeah, we've all been there.
But keep modifying it, keep making it unique, keep making it the car that represents you.
You're the one paying for it. You're the one that owns it. Build it your way. Build it how it makes you happy.
You want to put a stupid exhaust? that everybody thinks it's stupid, go for it. You want to do it. You know, like
Yeah.
don't let anyone scare you modifying your car. Don't let anyone talk about, oh, you just ruined your car. I mean, you
How
did.
airbags are stupid, and you're
You
tucking
don't
your
need
wheels
it.
and the
You only-
fenders.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your car. Modifying is stupid, but you do it anyway. Because
And you love it.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below. Is your car extensively modified? Or are you going to keep it stock because we've scared you in this video not to fuck with anything?
But go for it.
Share your-
Modify it.
Yeah, right. Share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you guys. Until next time, I'm signing off. I'm Mike.
Yeah, I'm on there. Like us, subscribe, and comment. Don't forget to comment, and that liking and subscribing will help us bring more different videos out there. Maybe we can, if you guys like to see one of our cars in the live action not a live action.
In daylight,
but
not
in daylight,
this little area here.
If you want to see it, we have other friends that have other slow cars that if you
They
want to
think
see.
they're fast.
They think they're fast. Joe, I see you. And kudos to all, and bye.